Hello again. So, right, let's continue further with our Snap series, the next session, right? I hope that you are in the full revision mode and gearing up for the exams ahead. All right, so Snap, we know is a different kind of I mean, a very different kind of exam in the sense that, right, you have to run fast, right? So that's speed is the key, right, for sure. And those who succeed are both fast and accurate, right? So therefore the idea is let's revise quickly and revise some key concepts, the most expected ideas, concepts that we can expect in the exam and which has been asked, and something new as well, right? So let's see, here we go, right? Without further ado, let's start. CL has its snaps at inmate module, so just check out the details over here. In case it suits you, just go for this. Okay, let's start. Question number one. Now, so I'm going to run fast. Right? Okay, so you need to keep pace with me, right? So the whole idea is let's do it in the exam mode. Okay, how we'll do this? Okay, in an exam, A gets 33.33, 1/3% less. I know that's a fraction of 1/3. 1/3 less means 2/3. So I get the ratio. A's marks are 2/3 of okay, with respect to the passing score. So he gets 2/3 of the passing score, and B gets 25% less than that of A. If C scored 80% more than B, 80% more means 1.8 times. Ratio is 1.8 or 9/5. So I'm converting percentage comparison to ratios very quickly. So what do we get? What do we get? So if I say that X is the passing score, right? Then what is A's marks? A's score is what? 2/3 of that, 2/3 of X, right? 1/3 less. Then B gets 25% less further, right? With respect to A's score. So B's score with respect to A's score is 1/4 less. So it's 3/4 of A's score, right? So 3/4 of A, and A is 2/3 of X. Because I know eventually I have to compare C's marks with respect to passing score. So I should keep everything in terms of X. So 3/4 of A means 3/4 into 2/3x, which simplifies as simply X by 2. He got half of the passing marks, right? Right, 3 cancels, 2/4 half. Finally, C's score. C's score with respect to B's score is 80% more, means 1.8 times, means 9/5 times of B's score. I quickly convert decimals to fraction. That is my key to success. All right, so 9/5 of B and B is X by 2 means this is what? 9/10 of X. So therefore, C's marks are 90% of the passing score, or what? What? So 10% less than the passing score, right? So you should be very quick with this percentage comparison to ratios, right? That's primarily what we are dealing with, right? In percentages, right? So channelize your mind in this way, right? Perfect. Let's see next one. Here we go. Right, be in the exam mode. Be in the exam mode. Now is the time to run. A person split his total investment amount equally among three policies A, B, and C, each of which gave monthly simple interest. He earned the same interest from these policies after 18 months, 2 years, and 15 months, respectively. If the interest rates for policies A and B differ by 2%, what's the rate of interest for policies C? Very nice question. Very nice question. Uh, so therefore, from the fact that they are earning, this person is earning the same interest. So interest is the same. So effective return percentage should be the same. We know that the net effective return percentage in CI is nothing but R into T percent. That's the key idea of SI, right? If the rate is R, then in time period T, R into T is a return, right? So that should be the equal for all of these policies A, B, and C. So for policies A, B, and C, if I take the respective interest rates, right, as let's say small a, B, C respectively in percentage terms, right, on a monthly basis, A percent, B percent, C percent. So the return percentage, the net total return percentage will be 18 months, so 18 times A percent, and B 2 years, so 24 months, 2 years, 24 months, so 24 B, and 15 months for C. So 15 C. So these should be all equal to each other. That is what is known. So that he gets the effective same interest earned, right? So from here, we have to figure out the comparative uh, situation over here for the return percentages. It's a three-way equality, and it's a very classic case. How do we find the ratio from three-way equality? Well, equate it to the LCM of the numbers, right? First of all, you can cancel a factor of 3, right? So 6a equals 8b equals 5c equals the common multiple of 6, 8, and 5. Obviously, 120 is the very simple LCM of 6, 8, and 5. So let's say it is equal to 120k. So what is A, B, C respectively in terms of k? So 120 by 6, 20k. B is 120 by 8, 15k. And C is 120 by 5, 24k. Then finally we come to the last step, that is 2%, right? A and B is their interest rate differ by 2. So this gap is basically 2. So 20 minus 15 or 5k. So 5k is 2%. So if 5k is 2%, what is 24k? 24k is what? So unitary method 24 into k, and k is 2 by 5. So this is what? 48 by 5, which is what? 48 by 5, 9.6%. That is your answer done. Is that it, people? So again, I'm giving you the key things, how to do this very quickly. People get into, equations, the traditional method. I use the simple direct concept. Return percentage, effective return is R into T in SI, right? We have done this many times if you have been regular with me, right? Next one. We are in the speed mode. Here we go. Time and distance. Okay, so I'm not getting any answers from anyone, by the way. This is a live session, not meant for a passive viewing. Be with me and contribute your answers. A very basic question of TST. Quickly, share your answers. Quick. Don't be shy. Share your answers on the chat box. Show some enthusiasm. Time up. But still waiting for your answers. I've given you enough time. Speed of the train is 90 kmph. We know 18 kmph is 5 meter per second. That is a conversion factor. So this is what? 25 meters per second. First of all, convert meters per second, because we need the answer in terms of meters, right? So 18 is 5, so 90 is 25. Train length is given 450 meters. It crosses the platform in 45 seconds. So the distance that will be covered is the sum of the lengths of the train and the platform. The distance that the train needs to cover in order to cross the platform is its own length, 450, plus the length of the platform. Let's call it P, right? So we have to find this P. So this distance covered is in time 45 seconds at the speed of the train, which is 25 meters per second. So this distance should be equal to speed into time. Speed is 25 meters per second into time is 45 seconds, right? 45 into 25. 45 into 5 would be 225. 225 into 5 would be 1125. And there's your answer in one line. P is 1125 minus 450, which would be what 675 meters. Done. I did not get an answer from anyone. It's a very basic question, people. A very basic elementary question of TST, right? Whenever two objects are crossing each other, the distance covered is the sum of the lengths of the objects at their relative speed. In this case, it's a platform, so it's not going to move, obviously, right? So the relative speed is simply the speed of the train, and the distance covered is the sum of the lengths of the train and that of the platform. Done. Next one. Time and work. Again. So I'm starting it off. You also start it off and let me know the answer. Be fast than me. Solve it faster than I can solve. A man, a woman, and a boy together can complete a piece of work in 10 days. There's a man, there's a woman, there's a boy. Together they take 10 days. So then he's establishing some kind of relation between their work rate. If the man is 50% more efficient than the woman, 50% more means 1.5 or 3 by 2 times, and thrice as efficient as the boy, 3 is to 1. So 3 is to 1, 3 is to 2, right? So if the man's rate is 3 units, then the woman's rate is 2 units, 3 is to 2, 1.5, and 3 is to 1. So the ratio of the work rate is 3 is to 2 is to 1. Now, when all of them work together, so what is the combined rate of all the three people? 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6 units. So when the man will work alone, his rate will only be 3 units as compared to when they were working all together 6. So going from 6 to 3, the rate is being halved. So if the rate is being halved, time will be doubled. Answer is what? 10, 20. That it's your answer, right? All the time in work questions, the key is as soon as you have the comparison of the work rate, you can compare the time, because the basic thing is all problems involve a fixed constant work. So when work is fixed, rate and time are inversely proportional. So rate is being halved, time will be doubled, right? Rate into time is work. So when work is fixed, rate and time vary inversely, right? So there goes your basics of time and work. How to do questions without equations again, how to simply work on the ratio concept, right? When fixed work we are talking of, then rate and time vary inversely. Right, people? So this is a quick fire revision that we are doing in case you have missed any basics, right? These are all basics. And please feel free to ask me anything that you may want to ask along the way, right? That's why we are having this live session. Okay, I'm available on your, I'm looking at your chats. If there is anything, do let me know. Okay, so something on geometry, next one, blah blah blah, right? Let's see. So again, it's a basic question. There is a circle, let's and it's passing through vertex A of an equilateral triangle ABC and touches the side BC. Okay, so let's first draw the triangle so that we can then locate how to draw the circle, right? A sketch is fine, you don't need to be very accurate. It's a triangle, equilateral one. So if this is your ABC, then it will pass through A and it will be tangential to BC, right? So something like that. Let me do like this. Yeah, so I think that is fine enough. Equilateral triangle, circle. What is the ratio of the circle's radius to the side length of the triangle? Finally, Prabhakar has given one answer. Thank you, Prabhakar. Thank you for showing you are there. Good. Right? It's a very basic one, right? So what is the connection between the circle and the triangle? Obviously, this is the diameter of the circle, right? Which is also the altitude of the triangle, right? So therefore, this, let's say, call this AD, D being the point of tangency, right? So this AD is 2r, the diameter of the circle, if r is the radius, and this is also equal to altitude of triangle. So this being an equilateral triangle, if the side length is, let's say, small a, then obviously AD is what? AB into sine 60 degree, right? Root 3 by 2a, right? Height of an equilateral triangle is nothing but root 3 by 2 times the side. So therefore, there is your answer. R is to a is root 3 is to 4, right? There goes your answer. Right. Okay, good. Let's continue. Sir, how much time to give for analyzing a mock? Right, Rudraksh, I'll just hold on to that. Let's just finish the questions, then we'll have we have some strategy discussion. Okay. Now, quadratic equations. Okay, so let me give you a minute because finally I've got some hint that people are there, right? Let me give you a minute to try. Okay, let's see if you can get this. giving you a bit of time. This will take a minute or so. Okay, right? So let's see. Time up. If you're getting it, let me know. Now, this quadratic function, right? You have to find forward values of a. Both roots are greater than 1 in magnitude. Means if the roots are, let's say, alpha, beta, then both alpha as well as beta in magnitude terms. So mod alpha as well as mod beta, both of them are greater than 1, right? So, well, so first of all, look at the quadratic, right? Now, how do we proceed? The first thing with any quadratic is just think, can we actually just simply factorize it out? Okay, that would be the best thing if it can happen, right? Otherwise you can always, then there is need to get into, okay, some we know what is alpha plus beta, we know what is alpha into beta, and then we have to think on that terms. But if you can find the roots directly in terms of a, that would be the best. So think of factorizing this. You see this is a square minus 1. So a square minus 1 is a plus 1, a minus 1. Factorization concept is what? Constant term, right, is the product of two factors whose sum is the middle term. So indeed you can see that is happening. This is a plus 1 into a minus 1, and their sum is nothing but 2a. So you can clearly understand that this will easily get factorized as x plus a plus 1. This is one factor because here is plus sign, right? And the other one will be what? X plus a minus 1. So a plus 1 into a minus 1 is there, and 2ax will come because x into a minus 1 and a plus 1 adds up to 2a, right? So there goes your quadratic, which was seemingly very uh, you know uh, mysterious, but actually we decoded it, right? And we got the roots. So if this is equal to 0, if this is my fx equal to 0, so the roots which are alpha beta, so alpha and beta, they're coming as what? Minus of a plus 1 and minus of a minus 1, because, right, x plus a plus 1, x plus a minus 1. So these two, now their magnitude needs to be more than 1. So when we will put in the mod, so mod of a plus 1, minus sign we can remove, mod will any which way remove the minus sign. A plus 1 mod needs to be more than 1, as well as a minus 1 mod needs to be more than 1. Basic modulus inequality, mod of x is more than a means either x is less than minus of a or x is more than a. That is a standard uh, result of the modulus inequality. Hence, so both these things need to be satisfied, this and this. So this is an and condition between them. This should also be there, that should also be there. Both conditions need to be satisfied. And this we're saying that either a plus 1 is less than of minus 1 or a plus 1 is more than 1. This, apart from that, also what needs to happen? Either a minus 1 needs to be less than minus 1 or a minus 1 needs to be more than 1. So from here, a is less than of minus 2, right? Or a is more than 0 and a is less than 0, right? This goes over there, or a is more than 2. So we need to satisfy both the conditions. This is saying less than minus 2a, this is saying less than 0. So less than 0, less than minus 2, both needs to be satisfied. So common thing is less than minus 2, because between 0 to minus 2, this is not agreeing, the first condition. So a should be either less than minus 2, or because I need to do and, so and means common solution, right? And likewise a more than 0, a more than 2, so common is a more than 2. So there goes your range of a, right? Either less than minus 2 or more than 2. That would imply roots are both more than 1 in magnitude, right? Thank you, Nath. Right. So what is the moral of the story? Whenever you see a quadratic, Before you jump into analyzing in a more algebraic way, complicated manner, always think, is factorization possible? Is it happening? That makes the job easy, right? Every question is having a moral to it. Every question is having something to take away, right? Let's see next one. Let me give you a minute. Let me give you a minute, people. Okay. Okay. Unat is active. Thank you, Unat. अफसोस गलत जवाब. Right, let's see something you have done. So in any inequality, the key is take all things on one side, right? So n plus 10 over n minus 5 minus 3 by 2 is more than 0. Why take all things on all side? Why not do, okay, 2 into n plus 10 more than 3 into n minus 5? Why not do that? क्यों नहीं? नहीं कर सकते हैं. इनइक्वालिटी में क्रॉस मल्टीप्लिकेशन अलाउड नहीं होती है, राइट? दैट विल ऑलवेज लीड टू रॉन्ग आंसर्स. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, दैट इज अ बेसिक ऑफ इनइक्वालिटी. So always take all the terms on one side and then simplify. So LCM 2 into n minus 5 cross multiply 2 into n plus 10. So 2n plus 20 minus 3 into n minus 5. So minus 3n plus 15 is more than of 0. Multiply and divide the expression with n minus 5 in the numerator and denominator, so that I can say, okay, this is a square, this is not never going to be negative. And in the numerator, this is what, 35, 20 and 15, 35 minus n, and then I have multiplied divided by n minus 5 should be more than 0. To make things little easy to understand, I don't want to have a negative coefficient of n, so multiply with minus 1 on both the sides and write this as n minus 35. So n minus 35 times n minus 5, and multiplying with minus 1 on both the sides will always change the sign of the inequality. So this is less than 0. So therefore, since this is never negative, this is greater than equal to 0, or you can say, in fact, it is strictly positive. It can't be 0, right? Because it's in the denominator. So the numerator should be satisfying the condition that it should be negative. So finally, we have that n minus 35 times of n minus 5 is less than 0. So therefore, simple quadratic inequality, a quadratic is always negative between the roots, right? That's your quadratic, how it goes about. It is negative between the roots, with roots being 5 and 35. So therefore, n lies from the range of 5 to 35. So therefore, the integer values that satisfy natural number values are starting from 6. Starting from 6, it should be more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, dot, 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 32, 33, 34 is the last. So from 6 to 34, the number of numbers is 34 minus 6 plus 1. 34 minus 6 plus 1 is your answer. 29 numbers are there. Right? Thank you, Prabhakar. Thank you, Bhavesh. So, Rudraks, I hope it's clear, right? With any inequality, that is the standard procedure. Take terms on one side and then simplify. Cross multiplication is not allowed with inequalities. That is the basic, right? Why cross multiplication is not allowed? If you would ask, क्यों नहीं कर सकते भाई, क्या दिक्कत है, क्या परेशानी है? भाई परेशानी ये है कि You are basically multiplying with n minus 5 on both the sides when you're cross multiplying. And the point is, you know that when you multiply an inequality with minus number, negative number on both the sides, the inequality sign will change. So since you are multiplying on both sides with n minus 5, you don't know if n minus 5 is positive or not. So if you are cross multiplying with n minus 5, so you don't know if the inequality sign should remain the same or change. So that's the basic premise of inequality. Cross multiplication is not allowed because you might be multiplying with a negative expression. You don't know. The whole thing is n minus 5 is unknown. It's a variable. So whether it is positive or negative depends on the value, right? So that's the key with inequalities, right? Numbers. Next one. Okay, so I'm happy to see some response coming now. Therefore, I would take a pause with every question for giving you a minute to try. Right? Let's see. I know you can do this. Okay, let's do this. Two numbers leave remainders 238 and 342 when divided by a certain divisor. Let's say that the divisor is D. Let's say the numbers are n1, n2. So n1 is dividend is divisor into quotient plus remainder. Let's say quotients are k1, k2. So n1 is k1 into D plus 238. Likewise, the second number n2 is some other quotient, let's say k2 into D plus this remainder of 342. Now, if the sum of these two numbers is divided by the same divisor, the remainder is 156. So adding these two equations will get the sum of the numbers n1 and n2 in terms of the divisor and the remainder. So n1 plus n2 is what? Sometimes some multiple of the divisor k1 plus k2 times the divisor D plus this value. Thank you, Rudraksh. Correct. Plus 580, right? But we know this is actually giving the remainder of 156. So this n1 plus n2 should be equal to some multiple of the divisor, let's say k3 into D plus this remainder of 156. This is the equivalence basically that we have. So by simplifying this, we are getting that k3 minus k1 minus k2. I'm bringing this term over there times of the divisor D is 580 minus 156, which is 424. So basically, the divisor into some integer is 424. Or in simple terms, the divisor D, can I say, is basically a factor of 424. So the divisor can take all the possibilities of values, which are the factors of 124. So what should be the answer? Cannot be determined. Is it? Rudraksh, however, is disagreeing with that. He's saying 3. Why? Obviously, it can't be anything apart from 424 because you have the remainders of 342 and 238. So if you take any lower factor of 424, even if the highest possible factor apart from 424, which is 212, right? The highest possible factor apart from 424 would be what? 212. Even that is less than 342. So आपका remainder 342 कब हो सकता है जब divisor ही 212 होगा? So not possible, right? So therefore, yes, the divisor can only take this value itself and nothing else, right? So thank you, Rudraksh, for giving the correct answer, right? CBD is a trap option. If you will forget that, the basic, yeah, right, your divisor cannot be less than the remainder, right? Okay, good, right? So these are the basics of numbers. Let's see next one. Here we go. Okay, again, giving you a minute. Right, let's see who can get this first. उसको चॉकलेट मिलेगी, Ferrero Rocher. I will parcel you. मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूँ, सच्ची बोल रहा हूँ. Let's see who can get this. Quick. Yes, a very doable question for everyone. Waiting for your answers. Okay, finally, yeah, correct. Thank you. Good. Everybody gave the answer here. Thank you, Rudraksh, Prabhakar, Bhavesh, everyone. Yes, correct. Obviously, the basic, right? It's if you're given the sum of n terms, then the nth term is nothing but sum of n terms minus sum of n minus one terms, right? You sum up to n terms, you remove the sum of the n minus one terms, you're left with the nth term, right? So just put that over here, right? You need a fifth term, so you need to do s5 minus s4, nothing else, right? Right. So what is s5? 5 cubed plus 5 square. And what is s4? 4 cube plus 4 square. Calculate that. There goes your answer. 125 and 25, 150. 64 and 16, 80. 150 minus 80, 70. Done. Right. Good. You know this. Okay. Now, something very interesting. Here we go. What is the probability that a leap year selected at random has 52 Mondays and 52 Tuesdays? Now, इसका जवाब मेरे को चाहिए आपसे, right? I want the answer here. Think about that. क्या हुआ भाई? जवाब दो भाई, जवाब दो. I will wait. भाई कैलेंडर तो सबको आता है, जवाब दो भाई. ओके. Thank you, Bhavesh. Thank you so much. let's see, right? Leap year has 366 days. 366 days. So how many weeks is that? We're talking of having a certain number of Mondays and Tuesdays. So it depends on how many weeks there are. Every year has a minimum of 52 weeks. 52 weeks is 364 days. 52 into 7 is 364. So a leap year has 2 extra days apart from the exact 52 weeks, right? So in those 2 extra days, there will always be 2 consecutive days. ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता ना कि एक संडे है एक ट्यूसडे है, consecutive ही होंगे, right? So in order for you to ensure that there are 52 Mondays and 52 of the Tuesdays, you need to ensure that none of these 2 days should be either Monday or Tuesday, right? राइट, यू नीड टू इंश्योर दैट इनमें से, इन 2 दिनों में से कोई भी दिन ना तो मंडे हो ना तो ट्यूसडे हो. नाउ व्हेन देयर आर 2 extra days, हाउ मेनी डिफरेंट पॉसिबिलिटीज आर देयर फॉर व्हिच वीकडेज आर असाइंड टू दोस 2 days? क्या क्या हो सकता है? वीकडे स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम मंडे एंड दैट संडे. इट कुड हैव बीन मंडे ट्यूसडे, which is not favorable. It could have been Tuesday Wednesday, which is not favorable. It could have been Wednesday Thursday, which is favorable. It could have been Thursday, Friday, which is favorable. It could have been Friday, Saturday, which is favorable. It could have been Saturday, Sunday, which is also favorable. It could have been Sunday and Monday, which is not favorable क्योंकि Monday आ गया. तो आपने सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज लिख ली, इसके बाद फिर से मंडे ट्यूसडे रिपीट हो जाएगा. तो ये सारी जो पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं वो 7 पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं. आउट ऑफ दो 7 पॉसिबिलिटीज यू हैव टिक मार्क्ड 4 टाइम्स. दैट इज योर आंसर. 4 बार पॉसिबल है कि ना तो वो ट्यूसडे हो ना हो मंडे हो, राइट? सो 4 आउट ऑफ 7, राइट? वेरी लॉजिकल, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, राइट? कैलेंडर probability. Okay, so right. So Rudraksh, what were you trying to ask basically? How much time to give for analyzing a mock? देखो उसमें मतलब the point is analyzing a mock basically means that you're refining your learning process. You're basically you know, covering up your concepts. You're I mean, उसमें आप जितना भी टाइम स्पेंड करो एज सच कोई इशू तो नहीं है, बिकॉज whatever time you're investing in analyzing is basically increasing your you know, canvas of your knowledge, and also you're also refining your approach, because you're also looking at the solutions and seeing how did you do, how is the, and what is the best approach, right? So as is, there is no issue in terms of how much time you take over there. Agar, but ideally if we say if there's a mock of let's say on an average, let's say a 2 hour full length mock, right? वैसे तो snap is 1 hour, but let's say it's a okay, so if it's a 1 hour mock that you're taking, so means even if you're taking, let's say, 1.5 to 2 hours for your analyzing, that is fine, right? Even double the time of the actual time of the exam you're spending, that is also fine, right? There's no issue in that. Ideally 1.5 to 2 times of the exam time you can spend in analyzing, right? So right, so I think what you need to do is refine your approach and pick those questions, you know, which I mean, don't get into the trap questions, right? In snap particularly, you can't leave too many questions, you know, right? You have to on average attempt about anything between 75 to 80 plus percentage of the questions to be able to have the realistic chance, right? So therefore बहुत ज़्यादा छोड़ तो ही नहीं सकते हैं. You can leave at the most what 10, 15, 20% of the questions, only then you'll have a realistic chance, right? So therefore the only thing is don't get into traps. कुछ एक दो क्वेश्चन होते हैं, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अभी हमने जैसे 10 क्वेश्चंस किए हैं, सो मे बी फॉर एग्जांपल जो क्वाड्रेटिक वाला था, हो सकता है वो आपको एक बार में समझ में ना आए, राइट? सो डोंट गेट इनटू, अच्छा उसको स्टार्ट कर देते हैं एंड यू एंड अप वेस्टिंग 3-4 मिनट्स, राइट? प्रेशियस टाइम. So this is a very quick fire, right? Exam, and that in that spirit we have taken this session also, right? How I have given you exact time कि इतने time में करके दिखाओ, right? So that's what I was testing you also, and good response from everyone, right? So all the best, all the best. I'll see you again, right? Very soon. Thank you. CL mobile app is here, so make use of it as part of your learning. It's there on both iOS and Android. These are the links, right? Just search for CL on the App Store, right? One of the many ways to get connected with us and make use of the resources, right? Okay, so there goes today's meeting. With the hope to see you again, and with the hope that you are in the right spirit and in the right mood and you're revising, right? Thank you so much. I'll see you.